Alright guys, welcome back. In this video I'm just going to be showing you guys a few strategies of if you are a new player to the club. You will really want to look at this video just to help you guys out with how to play defensively if you don't know how to do that already. If you don't play hockey or you don't understand the physics of it fully yet, and how to do well in certain situations. So I'm just going to briefly go over the areas of where everyone should be playing defensively first. Then I'll go over the offense and how to be very effective offensively as well after I go through the defense. So to start it out, all these color-coded areas, I have them color-coded based on the color that they play in the game. So this could help you out a little bit. So each of these areas is where you should be playing at. On what position that you will be playing as. So this right here, this box, this is the right wing box. So I usually play right wing, but this is basically just a regular winger spot. If you're playing winger, you'll be either left or right wing, so it'll be either here or mirrored over on the left wing, or here mirrored over on the right wing, however you want to look at it. But your job is this guy right up here, the #1 guy. This is the point guy. This is your D guy. This is the guy that you have to stop the point shots from going through. That's why we have you guys up there, to stop the point shots from going through. And it doesn't seem like the biggest, most critical role, but those do go in a lot, and that's the whole point of having people up there, because everyone else is tied down here doing their own thing that they need to do to stop all the forwards from doing stuff, while you end up having to stop the defense. So it's still a very important role. It may not be as important as the forwards, because in general the forwards score more than the defense, but the defense still can score if your wingers are not playing them defensively correctly. So you want to minimize the damage and make sure you play defensively right. So this area, this is where you would play in the right wing. Anywhere around this area, this is around where you play, but the main objective is to make sure your guy is covered and he doesn't have a chance to put a puck into the net. And then the same with the left wing. The left wing's got to make sure you're on #2, and if he somehow beats you, you still have the center and the left D. Right wing, you still got the center and the right D. But if he beats you and the right D decides to come up this direction and the center goes up to block him, now that leaves the #2 forward down here open, and kind of leads to a defensive collapse there, just with all the stuff that ended up happening. So that's how you play. That's how you can play defensively well in the zone here. Especially if you're a winger here. So that's your left and right wingers, and notice they're a little bit higher up than everybody else. So they're generally, this is the spot where they're generally first up the ice because of their position. They're generally the goal scorers on the team. They don't necessarily have to be, but they're generally the goal scorers on the team, because they're more of the shooters than the passers. They're the most offensive role in the whole thing here. So now that I went over the wingers, your right and left defense here. Notice how you have all of this boards right around here that is in your zone here. So if there's a puck that comes down and you have to do a battle behind the net, that's your job to go get that. That's why we have the center right here guarding that area. So if you have to go down and get that, the center will be able to take your position right there. So then you'd be able to go get a puck there. Same with the lefty. If you have a puck around the boards here, you can go get that, and the center will be able to take your position if you end up having that problem, because you'll still have the center and the right D up there. So do that, and do what you can to get it to an open player. Not turn it over, of course, but That's part of your zone too, but most important for your zone, if a left and right D, is to make sure you block as many shots as you can and not let those cross creases go through. So if you see here, I don't have a do I have just a writer here? I don't know if I just have like a thing where I can just write here line options. No, but basically, there, right in between 1 and 2 here is your right defenseman, because you need to be stopping those cross crease passes in front of the net, because those go in a lot, and that's something that's what like defense are there for that, and also being the guys back on a breakout up the ice. You're the two defensemen are back, along with the center might be back as well, to make sure they don't get a snipe or anything from the points here, somewhere around there. And once we get finally set up, to not let it go through the forward's cross crease and snipe the or forward's cross crease and that, or let the players somehow get a good shot off from there. Same with the center. The center guards the guy in the center, and you basically guards the whole core of the ice here. So right defense, before I go on to center, I'll just go over right and left defense for another sec here. But right defense cuts off the passes between 1 and 2. Left defense cuts off the passes between 1 and 3. Basically completely reversed. And also, if the left wing or right wing end up losing their guy and he is able to get up in the center here, it's the center's job to go do that. But if it somehow gets through the right wing and the center, the last line of defense before it hits the goal is you guys. So you need to do anything you can to deflect that puck off and out of the zone or something, so it doesn't get to the net. But basically that's the defensive position once you finally get set up down there. So really important to stop those from going through. And finally, the last position, if I didn't even put this little square here, this is the square that he'll be playing in, but if I didn't even put this square here, all of the area in the defensive zone is already taken up. So you have one other position, and that's your center, and he controls the center of the ice. If you have a good core center of the ice, there's some cross crease passes that can go up here. Maybe a guy from the point can do that as well, and he needs to do whatever he can to stop those cross crease passes, because sometimes the wingers, their defense is able to get away from him. Or let's say 2 comes up to here, and then you've got 2 guys here, and the right wing has no idea who to go after and defend here. So you always need to make sure you're watching. You always need to make sure that you're watching for those cross crease passes whenever possible. That blocking shots, making sure the center of the ice is completely good of any snipe shots or whatever. There's a snipe shot in the game that goes in very, very easily, which is one that I do, and it gets released right around here or right around here, and it could get released in the center here too as well. So if you have a good defensive center, he'll be able to stop that most of the time and do whatever he can to disrupt that anywhere around here. If you take a penalty, that's completely fine. You're doing whatever you can to not let that go through, because it could possibly easily be a goal. Anywhere in this area is, like, you see the zones here, right wing, center, that's your area that you guys need to be on them. At least one of you guys need to be on them, left wing and center over on this side, and then just everything here. So don't let that shot go through. One other thing I want to go through with is the reason why I have this set up like this is, notice here, this is why I didn't want to make arrows, but I think I have to, just because I don't know how to make lines and I don't know how to just draw on this thing. But I'll make arrows for you, but they're supposed to be lines, so don't mind the arrows. But basically right here, if you see, and I have to keep clicking and doing this, so it's going to take a second here. So if you see here, you have the defensive triangle right here. So this is the triangle of defense. It's very tight in on the goalie. You're not letting anything get through into your triangle. Nothing gets into your triangle. You don't let anything into your triangle. You keep everything out and extend your triangle as far as you can, but nothing gets in your triangle. Like, you don't want to send it too far. Just keep it around this area and keep that whole core completely set. This is your defensive core here. You make a triangle because that is the most effective way to play defense. If you made a square here, that leaves a tiny hole through the center of the square or through the side of the square. But this is, if you see, you'll see this on bridges. If you've ever done any bridges, you make triangles on bridges instead of squares, because squares don't hold up anything, only triangles do. So this is the most effective way, having a triangle right in front of the net, and this is your defensive triangle. And then you've got your defensive triangle. This one is right here, right there, right there. So this is an even bigger triangle, and you have this set up as well. This is your offensive defensive attack, or offensive defense triangle. There you go. So you make a triangle here as well. So let's say this guy comes over here, this guy comes down, and we get caught off. The left wing comes down here, the right wing comes up here. So then what would end up happening is, if we can't get back to our spots when we're trying to like stop this guy, let's say this guy comes all the way around and tries to put one in the net here, so you need to have your left wing right there, or something happens where you need to do a switch here. The center would then switch out with the right wing over to this side of the triangle, where the right wing will fill in the left wing position, and then once the left wing is finished with his check or doing whatever he can, now that he's got a lot of pressure on him, he would then return to the center spot. So you'd rotate like that. You would keep that core triangle, because that is a very effective defensive tactic, which will work very well. And if you see this in front of the net here, and you're one of these guys over here, if you see all of these guys just kind of right at their spots here, you think that defense is very, very hard to get to. And then when you can get back, try to get a switch in or something. Get your right wing back to where he should be. Get your left wing back up there to where he should be. That, or you could keep rotating. You could just keep rotating in the same direction or rotating back. Same with the defense, because your center is the mid ground. He plays offense and defense. See the zones here? These are two offensive defensive zones. These are two defensive defensive zones. This is right in the middle. So you play offense and defense as a center, and that's why you share both of these triangles here. This is stuff that you would learn in both hockey and lacrosse. You use this in both games right here, and you could take this into real life if you want to as well. But basically, this is how you want to set up defensively. The triangles is a little bit more advanced, but if you are able to lock down that triangle, if you see me playing, I try, sometimes I don't really get it that well. A lot of times people say I'm in the right position because I'm keeping this triangle here and keeping the D triangles as well. So that's how you can tell you keep in right position, because you keep, by doing this, acting like, if I could just rotate this triangle, if you're acting like everybody here is on a chain and you can't get closer or further away from somebody. If this guy moves up, so let's say this center moves to here, right wing moves up to there, left wing moves down to there, and you just keep that triangle rotating. That way you guys are equally far apart, you cover more ice, and you are better defensively overall just from doing that stuff. So there it is. That's the general defense for a 5-on-5. I'm going to go over the 4-on-4 in just a second. So right here, this is the 4-on-4 here. Usually they will be going in the umbrella. You'll be seeing these represented by these black dots. You notice how I said, or you probably remember how I said squares are bad from before, but when you only have 4 people, that's still the best way of doing things. So basically what you want to do is, this is called the box defense, and what that is you create a box here, and I shaded it in. Maybe it could be even a little bit smaller. Like I could even bring these guys in a little bit and take off a little bit of that shading, and maybe bring these guys down even a little bit. But this is the box defense here, and you've got your sticks too, so like it looks like these are far out, but the sticks extend to like here and cover all of this area here, keeping it a like solid closed box. So I shaded it in just to give you guys the visual of that you make a box here. And they will usually use the umbrella against you on the power play, which is 3 guys up top, 2 guys down low. So it makes kind of a umbrella-ish thingy here. Like if you had a pole umbrella, and then I don't know what the fuck these things are, but anyway, so this is the 5-on-4 penalty kill, not power play, penalty kill. They're on the power play. We can set up like that on the power play to do what we can against their defense, but that is how you want to do it. So basically how you want to run this is, let's say this guy's got the puck over here. One wants to try to do something to get it out of the zone. Maybe he can get a quick poke check and poke it out of the zone, or possibly get a poke check and get a breakaway after having him turn it over, and then be able to take a breakaway shot on net. So what you want to do is you want to go out, do your poke check or whatever, and I mean, if you have a breakaway, then go ahead, go get it. But if it's not going to be a breakaway, if it's just going slowly out and you got a guy that's going to easily beat you, you want to make sure you get right back to your spot here on the box here. So if you come out, make sure you come right back into your spot, retreat right back to your spot. Same with every other position here, you can do that, but just make sure you come right back to your spot, because if you come out and you're way out here and we have no idea what you're doing, this guy's got it, look at that, two has to come all the way over, he might not even be seeing what's happening right there, he's got an easy shot right on the net right there. So you want to make sure you always have defense, because this covers pretty much everything. You got the points covered, you've got the defense covered down here, and you'll get the center covered, and I'm going to go over that in just a sec. So why I have this shaded in, another reason why I have this shaded in, is because once they get into the center, if anybody tries to make a move into the center here, you fuck him up. You don't let him get through at all. So if this guy is trying to come into the center, you don't let him do anything. You whatever you do, you could bring this guy up, bring that guy, bring this guy in, bring another guy over. Don't let him get through, but make sure you're still able to remember your spots and be able to get back to your spots once the threat is done with. But yeah, you don't let him do whatever you can. You don't let him into your box. That's your sacred area. You don't let him in there. So that is the 5-on-4. I'm going to quickly go over the 5-on-3 here. I'm just going to take, I'll take this guy out. So now you guys are on a 5-on-3. And you remember how I said before, I'm not even going to take away this box. I'm just going to try to do this again real quick here for you guys. And you remember how I said before, how squares are worse than triangles or something along those lines. I can't remember what I said. Here's your triangle again. You only have 3 guys left. The triangle is the best thing you could possibly do. It's so good. So when you're on a 5-on-3, there you're set. You have even less, so it's going to be even harder. The same thing. You break off to go do it. You probably don't want to break off as far. You break off to go try to poke check it and keep it out of the zone. You come right back to your spot. This guy comes and tries to poke check it from this guy. You come right back to your spot. Same with this guy. He tries to poke check. You come right back to your spot. You keep that triangle right there. So And then again, the same thing. Don't mind the box. The box could literally be, this could all be the regular same color, and then the shaded part would be inside of this triangle. The triangle would be then your sacred area, and you don't let anybody inside that triangle. I mean, it's better with more people than it is without people, but you don't have people, and the triangle is the best way of locking things down. So you want to make sure you make a triangle. Also, if somebody's way off here, somebody's down here, let's say this guy made a you went out for a poke check on this guy, he makes a bank pass over to this guy over here, he's trying to come in, and then the 2 is knocked off, and then 1 is already knocked off up there, so 1 has to come up and block the point just in case a point pass down here. So he would go rotate up to here, 1 would rotate down to here, 2 would rotate over to here. And basically it just kind of works like that. And the same thing, you can rotate back, you can rotate the other way. You just want to make sure you keep that triangle there, and that's the most effective way you can do of doing that. Also, again, another thing, that's actual hockey, but something you need to adapt to in the video game version is you need to make sure you cover the points here. So 1 is going to be off his point a lot and doing what he can to get a poke check right on that point, so there's no snipe that can get through. So he'll be moving off a lot. All right, the final slide I want to go over, this is the offense, so I will go over that real quick for you guys. All right, so offense, actually, hold on, let me see if I can just flip this. I might be able to flip this and not have to do any more editing here for you guys. Rink, flip, nope, there's no flip. Thought I had a flip here, can't remember where it was. Oh, right, it's right here. There we go. Well, it's messed up. All right, so I'm not going to show you that. All right, so just like what I was saying here before, I was just messing around with this before a little bit. So your wingers are going to usually be 1 and 2. It doesn't always have to be like that. What this represents is your first, second, or third guy into the zone. Let's say this is your first guy, he'll be down here, your second guy will be down here, your third guy is up high. So you want to make sure your forwards, you'll have 2 guys down low and 1 guy up high. And you see how 2 guys are down low, 1 guy's up high. Usually it'd be your center, but it doesn't have to be. It's just whoever gets, if you have 2 guys in first, your third guy makes sure you go high. So and as you see here, I've already got the arrows linked up here. This is your offensive attack triangle. So this is how you'll be able to do a lot and score goals here. Same with if you're trying to set up something. Let's say there's a defense right here and he's blocking you out completely here for making a shot on net. So you want to bring it out around, try to get something going here. 3 would then go over here, he'd come up, 3 would start coming over here, 2 would probably go behind the net here, that, or he'll go behind the net probably right over here, maybe look for a tip in over here or something, or do something over here, and 1 has there's still a triangle right here. If you're looking at this when it's rotated, 1 could possibly easily get a pass over to 3 and slap shot right through there, or 1 could get a pass over to 3, both the defense come over to try to stop his shot, and then it opens up a lane right here for a cross crease pass over to 2 and in. Just 1, 2, 3 right there and in. That's why you want to keep you guys into a triangle, and it is very effective when you do that. So just make sure you stay into a triangle. That's your attack triangle there. And then again, you've got this again right here, your defensive attack triangle, or your defensive triangle. Not really an attack triangle. Why isn't this working? There we go. Your defensive triangle here. So yeah, you got your center. Usually your center doesn't have to be, it just kind of whoever's the third guy in, this just represents the number of when they were in, and then that's how you would want to set up there as well. So you have, this doesn't mean your passes or whatever. This is just don't look at the arrows at all here. This is supposed to just be lines here. This is just supposed to recognize triangles here. This does not mean passes at all. This is just this is like your chain. Don't let your chain move at all. If I could just make a regular line, I'd make a line, but I don't know. But 2 has the option of banking a pass over to the defensive 2 up at the point here, and same with the offensive 1, 3. They have all of these options available, plus their offense will be very very well like looked at and be able to stop a lot of, or will be able to get a lot of good chances like that. And if you see me, a lot of people say that I get in really good scoring positions, or like that I get a lot of passes because I'm in the right position. Well, this is what I'm following right here. So if you want to be in the right position, follow this and you will be in the right position. As long as you keep that chain, keep that space, even with each one of you guys, you should be in pretty good position most of the time wherever you're at. And then one last thing that I want to go over, and then I'll be done with everything that I'm talking here. One last thing I want to go over. That's why I wanted to flip the last thing. Let me just take off all these triangles here. Oh, I don't have that. I have to go back far a little bit there. There we go. All right. So just a little bit of zones here for the offense, because you have the defensive zone. I want to give you the offensive zones here. So we'll just say this guy right here, number 3, we're just, because he's in the center of the ice, we're going to say, we're going to say he's the center here. So the center, he can really go wherever. I'm not even going to put this on the thing. I just want to save some time here and make this a little bit shorter of a video for you guys. But he can go wherever he needs help. Let's say 2 is tied up onto the boards here. 3 goes, or center goes in to help him out, because he can go wherever he needs to go onto the boards, get that puck, chip it up to the second, or the defense, go D to D, or get it back to center wherever he is, or get it back to 2, or get it over to 1, whatever he needs to do. He has the ability to go pretty much everywhere he wants. But if you want to give him a zone, it doesn't matter too much. It matters maybe like, I'd say like 65% he would be in the area, and like 40% he wouldn't be in the area. Like it's slight advantage, but not too much. It's not as big as being the defensive zone, is what I'm trying to get at. So basically, you just take the if I'd go into flip this, you just take the center area right here. Don't look at anything else. You just take the center area right here, and flip that back. Just take the center area right there. You get the point here, 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 here. Makes a diamond. That would be basically your area of where you would be around. And then your 1 and 2 guys, whoever that is, it doesn't have to be your left and right wings, but we can just say these guys are the left and right wings based on their position again. So they are in charge of the boards here. If that puck goes in the boards, going a wraparound or whatever, same with the third forward. The third forward can do that. I'm not saying he can't, but these guys are in charge of the boards here. If it goes to the boards, get it from the boards, chip it over, or do whatever you can. But I'm not saying the person up here is not going to be able to do that. Everyone gets a chance down here to do that, because we can switch like that. Now 3 does the boards here, and this guy covers the tries to get open for a cross crease pass, or a point pass right up to the snipe shot, or a pass to dish off to like 3 or something right in, or something like that. They can all just switch just easily like that. It does, like, all of them will be doing the same thing, but in general, the center would probably be a little bit more back. But whoever is the last guy back, you need to make sure that you get back once you turn it over, because this plays a role both offensively and defensively. It gives you an open shot for offense or good passes for offense, but it also allows you to be back far enough that you can play defense as well. So like if there is a turnover right here, it's already past both of these guys, but you can react and come back and be in front of them. You'll have 3 guys on defense while these guys catch up to try to get on defense. If you turn it over, you'll be at least really close that you'll have your defense. That's why they're there. You'll be able to get bailed out. You'll probably be able to get bailed out by your defense, but you'll be pretty close to them, and I mean, these guys still won't be able to do anything, but you'll have your defense there, and you want to try to have three people back when you can, and that's pretty much it. And then I want to go over, I know defense sometimes don't know where they should be playing for offense. So offensively, I know a lot of defense have a lot of different kind of things that they want to go over for this, or some of them come way back here just to stop a possible breakaway or whatever. You don't really have to do that unless you see one of the guys here cherry picking. So that's when you want to stay back and block the cherry picker. So if you see a cherry picker up here, then we'll need to take one of our defense out to stop that cherry picker, and you'll have to do whatever you can, change your camera angle, whatever you have to do, see that ice down here. You need to do something to see that ice if you're a defense, because I know a lot of defense, they have a camera angle that's focused on the puck, and they get cut out of it very easily. So you need to make sure you change your camera angle when you play defense to see all this area here. So that is the defense area here. But when you're playing offensively, we need you to be right on the line here, taking those point shots or getting passes off to the forwards if they need the puck, or you have an open shot, take the shot, and or go to D or something, because sometimes we only have it'd be like 5-on-3 with just the offense down here. It will be 5-on-5 again once we get these guys back into the zone. So like they can't always do everything all the time. It's 5-on-3 if they're just doing everything all the time on the forwards here. So we do need your guys' help a lot on offense. So you want to make sure you stay around this area. This is your I'm just going to outline it with my cursor here. I'm not even going to like write it, but this is your area as a defense. Basically, it's basically right here. It's basically the left wing. We're looking at it backwards, but it's basically the left and right wing areas from the defense area. They're basically in the same area, but I would say I'd actually cut it down a little bit more and just be around this area, because if you go too far up, you're not going to be able to be back on defense. I'd really just say it's right around this area. But if you have to, let's say there's a puck coming down the boards here, no one's able to get it, and it's kind of a race to the puck, and you'll probably be getting it. You can take this guy, run down the boards, get it over here, but once you get to this area right here, that is as far as you can go. Like your limit, like the area you want to be around is right around here. Same with over here, right around here. Like we can all the way over to the center here. It connects to the center, so you guys connect. So about this area, this is where you want to be at when you're doing this. But your limit though, your limit to how far you can go up is the goal line here. Like you don't want anywhere. When you're in this area, this is already a danger zone. You shouldn't be in here. If you're going up anywhere past this area, you need to have somebody back to cover you. But if you're a defense, you cannot go beyond the goal line here. You just can't. This is already the danger zone of like pretty much you're way out of the spot for defense. This is just dead. Like you're just once you get down here, you're past all of the forwards, so everybody's messed up here. Whoever was the third guy back's probably already back there. You're pretty much playing forward now once you go up to there, and we were all like messed up here. We don't have our right guys onto where we should. This guy, who knows? He could even be a sniper along with a defensive defenseman or a two-way defenseman or whatever. Now we have got a sniper here. We got nobody that can play defense, or we don't have the right player type playing defense right now. Everything's all messed up. You don't know how to play forward for that round. The forwards don't know how to play forward with you. It's just not good. Don't go past this area. You're basically offense once you go through there. But so your limit, your absolute limit, is the goal line. You don't go you don't cross the goal line. You do whatever you can to not cross that. Because also another thing, once you do that, you get close to the net and they get it back. The reason why you don't go near the net is because you also have to get around the net. Whoever ends up getting behind the net is going to be the last person back every single time, because the net slows them down a fuck ton. So there's no way you are going to be able to do that once you go through there. So don't do that unless you're a complete professional in AAA, the freaking NHL. Don't do it. Just don't. So that's your zone. Offense, you got pretty much same zones here. If you're thinking of like position-wise, right wing, left wing. The wingers can swing though, so don't worry. All the forwards are moving. That's what you're talking about, cycling the puck, getting it around all the players. And same thing with here. I do have to do one other thing with like the movement. You did see how I made the triangles here. Make that real quick one last time. You did see how I was able to make the triangles here. Oops. It's going to be a bad triangle, but whatever. I was able to... This guy has got to be... Oops. Back. This guy's got to be somewhere over there. So you see how I was able to make the triangles here. So these guys can switch, cycle the puck, come around the back here, come up, come down, come over, come back up. These guys can switch. Plus, let's say the puck's over here. It gets chipped back out, gets poked away. This guy's got it. He starts back skating into the middle here. The center guy is over here trying to do whatever he can to like stop that puck. But this guy's coming over. This guy's coming down because this guy's coming over. This guy's coming out over here trying to get a being open for a possible play over here as this guy's coming down. And you can literally swap like this. You're swapping your triangle like this, and it could literally just flow like that. You can even flow it with the offense if you feel like you have to, but don't. When you have defense, you want to make sure they stay on defense when they can. So, and that way it doesn't disrupt your forwards or whatever. And don't think that they don't have somebody on the forward that knows what they're doing. So. Yeah, there you go. This literally can go. You can literally go like this, make the whole like thing like that. Have this whole thing just flow. You can it's literally all connected here, pretty much with like the movements. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's all connected. It's all a triangle. You can have all these different movements that you can have. All of it. Like you can literally just move all the way out. It's all like a connected chain. So that is how you play the offense. That is how you play the defense. That's how you be effective. That's how you get open. All you need to know now is how to score goals when you're playing up and forward or defense. And there's a video on the channel to show you guys that. And I'll probably put a link in the description if you are watching this video right now. So combine this with all of the with the ability of how to snipe the goalie, and you're an amazing player once you master this. You'll be an elite player easily. This is coming off of a top 50, top 6 in the last gen player, and I played hockey too as well. So this will really help you guys. So make sure you do that. So if you like the video, comment, like, subscribe if you guys want more. And there'll probably be another playoff video coming up soon. So you'll probably see us in the playoffs.